All right, today we're going to talk about conflict. See, the reason you and I have trouble resolving conflict is that we tend to focus all of our attention on the person we're in relationship with and the relational aspect of the conflict. But every conflict has both a relational side and a personal side. And if we don't address the personal roots of conflict that are present before we ever get into a relational conflict, we'll never be able to resolve the relational aspect of the conflict. So in this video, I want to talk about the personal roots of conflict that are hidden in every relational conflict you and I will ever have. That's today on Relation Shots. Welcome to Relation Shots. My name's Eric Wooten. If this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome to the place to get practical relationship advice that actually works in your relationship. If you've not already done so, go ahead and click the subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss any upcoming videos. If you need some help in any aspect of your relationship, we're here to help you. Whether it's signing up for one of our Zoom classes, joining our membership where you'll find videos and tools and worksheets and community, or getting some counseling, check the links below and you'll see all the information and how we can help you in your relationship. So let's talk conflict. As I mentioned in the intro, one of the reasons we struggle in conflict is because we always focus on the relationship. The person I'm in conflict with, and usually we think it's their fault anyway, but we miss out on resolving conflict by only focusing on the relational side and never even acknowledging there's a personal side to it. So what I want to go through is the root of conflict that always starts within us before it ever becomes relational. If you're not aware of that, you will go into every conflict unarmed with what's really going on and probably frustrated because you can't seem to resolve it. So if you're a person of faith, I'm going to drop a little scripture on you quick. If you're not, just give me about 10 seconds and then we're going to jump into the growth of conflict, where it starts, the root, and how it grows in your life. So check out this scripture. James chapter 4 verses 1 and 2 say, "What is the source of quarrels and conflicts among you? Is not the source your pleasures that wage war in your members? You lust and do not have, so you commit murder. You are envious and cannot obtain, so you fight and quarrel." Anybody notice a word repeated in there? You, your, you, your, you, your, you, your. You know what the source of every conflict that you'll ever get into is? You. There's something inside of you that is causing you to decide to have conflict with somebody else in order to get what you think you need. So what I want to talk about is this growth of conflict, where it starts, how it progresses. There's 4 stages, and then how we can recognize that and work on that so that we're more successful in resolving conflict in our relationships. So stage number 1, every single conflict starts with this thought: I desire. Every conflict starts with an unmet desire in you. There is something you desire that you want and you're not getting it, and so it turns into conflict. Now there's good desires and bad desires, right? Bad stuff like lust and vengeance and greed, and those are bad desires. Now, obviously, bad desires are going to turn into conflict because they're not starting from a healthy place, but there's good desires that ultimately turn into conflict, right? Good desires like peace. I want peace in my home. Or good desires like I desire a good relationship or connection or communication with my spouse. I desire well-behaved kids. Those are all good desires. But the problem is that good desires unchecked will never stay there. When you have a desire, you should in fact express it to your partner. And if they either show an unwillingness or lack of understanding in trying to meet that desire, then you should go get help. Get a counselor, take a class, get a trusted friend or mentor involved in the process and see if maybe they can help facilitate you expressing your desires to your partner. But what happens is over time, if you cannot get that desire met, you will begin to be bitter, you'll be resentful, and you'll continue to spiral down until you no longer stay at the I desire phase, but you step up to the next level, which is I demand. Now what you're doing is this desire has become so important to you, you're demanding of the other person that they fulfill this desire that you have. Which means you're going to argue with them, you're going to nag them, you're going to nitpick with them, and you're going to try to figure out whatever you can do, manipulate, control, in order to get your desire. Now, biblically speaking, when it's gotten to the point of demand, they would call this an idol. Your desire has become an idol. It has consumed your thoughts and your behaviors and your actions, and now you're demanding it of the other person, but we don't stop there. I desire, I demand, then I move to the third level, which is now I judge. So what you have done is this desire and demand have now become an expectation by which you have conditions and standards for the other person. So I have this desire and that's my expectation. And so now I'm going to begin to judge the other person based on how they rise up to my standards or expectations. And when they don't, I'm going to criticize them. I'm going to condemn them. I'm going to tell them they're not good enough. They don't measure up. All the ways that we judge one another. Basically what we're saying is, you know what? You need to pledge allegiance to my idol. And because you're not pledging allegiance to my idol, my desire that has grown in me, I now need to judge you against that because you don't seem to come into alignment with the idol that I have placed before you that you need to fulfill. But here's the great news. We don't stop there. I desire, I demand, I begin to judge, and then the final stage is now I punish. Right? I now have to punish you. It's almost like my idol demands that I punish you for not meeting my original desire. Now, you see this in kids all the time. When they want something and they don't get it and they begin to pout or throw a fit or cry. Now, hopefully, as an adult, you're mature enough that you're not pouting like a kid anymore, but we do it in different ways. We get angry, we lash out, sometimes we withdraw, we isolate, we make them pay in whatever ways you think you can make them pay by withholding, withdrawing, or punishing them for something that you think that they want from you that you're not now going to give it to them. But it rises, our desire has risen to the level that we now need to punish our partner because they're not meeting us or satisfying our desire. And this happens so quickly. Let me give you a scenario. So I desire peace at home. I like peace. I don't like conflict. I don't like drama. I desire peace. So I've been working all day and I come home to a house with a wife and 3 kids and my desire is peace. I don't think that's a bad desire, but I walk in the door and it's chaos. Now I'm frustrated. So now I begin to make demands of them because my desire is so strong for me that, man, what's the deal? Why shouldn't I be able to come home to a house and have peace and quiet? I'm working all day. I'm working so hard and then I come home and this is what I get. This isn't fair. So I start making demands of them. But why would I stop there when I can go ahead and judge them too? So now I start judging my wife. What's wrong with you? You can't control these kids? What's going on? I start judging my kids. Are you guys crazy? What's wrong with you? You don't know how to act right? And then you know what? I'm going to go ahead and punish them because they're all hungry. Because they've been doing stuff around the house all day and they've been busy and they've been trying to clean up and do things and they're hungry too and I'm hungry, but you know what? I ain't got time to get you anything. So deuces, I'm going out to eat by myself because I want peace and I didn't get my peace. So now I'm punishing you. You figure out dinner on your own. I'm out of here. Or maybe the next time I just don't come home and I eat on my way home and that's my way of punishing him. So something that was a simple, not bad desire, peace at home. I think we all want it. Because it was so important to me, I began to demand, judge, and punish. So here's the deal. Every conflict that you get into first starts with a desire that you had that was not being met. So now you're going to have to fight or go into conflict to try to get that thing. So what I want to challenge you to do is before you step into conflict, take a moment, take a breath, and check that desire. If you're a person of faith, maybe you need to pray about that thing before you take that to your partner. But you need to check yourself first and go, has this thing become so important to me that I now am going to cause problems in a relationship because I've not figured out how to handle it? Because there may be other ways that you can handle it. You may be putting something on your spouse that is not theirs to carry because you haven't dealt with your own stuff, you haven't managed your own emotions, you haven't taken care of the things you need to do in your life. So sometimes we put things on our spouse that we should be taking care of ourselves, and it ends up leading to conflict. So there is the growth and rise of conflict. I desire, I demand, I judge, and then I punish. Your desires and unmet desires are at the root of every relational conflict you'll ever have. So check your desires before you start a conflict the next time. I want to hear your thoughts on this, so drop a comment in the comment section below. As I said before, if we can help you in any way in your relationship, check out all the resources and classes and memberships and things that you can use to strengthen your relationship, all in the description area below. And until next time, I'll see you right back here on Relation Shots.